Greetings, YouTube. So today we are looking at the Action Force Swarm Trooper. And I also got the Swarm Gear set. So this is the next installment of the Valaverse Action Force universe, and I'm really looking forward to this one. I was seeing reviews of it, and I'm kicking myself because when I backed the Kickstarter or the Crowd Ox thing, I didn't just grab more of these, but it is what it is. I'll be able to hopefully get some later. All right, let's take a look at them. All right, so real quick look at the box again. These Action Force boxes are very no frills, no thrills, and you know we do have a bio here, and I have not read this one all the way yet. Somebody pointed out to me last time that there was some typos in the other people's bios, which is not a good look, but I guess things like that happen. All right, let's take a look at him. Oh yeah, one more thing. Take a look at this packaging real quick. It's just a picture of what you get. As far as the extras. Okay, so Swarm Trooper, the army builder for the first wave of the Action Force line. It's supposed to be like a high-tech, near future, almost futuristic soldier. He's got some sweet looking details as far as his armor and his gear goes, like this helmet with the translucent bug eye lenses, the compound eyes. That's a great touch. Whoever came up with that idea, that's spectacular. You got this top armor piece, and nice that it's because it's a pretty hard plastic, but it doesn't cover the articulation, so we don't have to worry about that. You have those silver armor pieces going down the arms. Got it around the belt here, on the legs. These straps are plastic, softer plastic, connected to the belt. Got the greaves or the boots. Awesome looking figure. They really did an excellent job making this guy pull off this look. Got a knife sheath back there. And you know, like I said, it's a very near future, futuristic kind of look. The Action Force canon or universe that Vala has, created, based on the comic books and stuff, it's supposed to be set in the near future. So it's not like it's happening in this year. It's down the road some. But yeah, they did an excellent job with this Swarm Trooper. Looks wise, I can't really say anything bad about it. It looks spectacular. All right, let's have a look at articulation. Okay, for articulation, it's pretty standard for Action Force Valaverse stuff that we've seen so far. So you have your head is on the hinge. He can look up really good. That's great since he's going to be a flying character. And he can look down pretty good too, despite all the armor and the helmet and stuff. You get a very slight bit of tilt, and obviously it can turn. As far as the arms go, this shoulder armor kind of hinders it from going all the way into the completely spread out, as The Amazing would say, the T-pose. I think you could force it, but I don't want to chip up my stuff or scratch the paint, so that's a little bit hindered. That's slightly disappointing, but it's not a deal breaker. Bicep swivel, double jointed at the elbow. These particular hands have the side hinge. He has multiple other hands though, so I'm sure the weapon holding ones are vertical. You have the diaphragm joint You have the waist ball joint. Your legs are on drop-down hinges. They're slightly hindered by the straps, but you still can get him out pretty far, even without, pulling down the hips all the way. Double jointed knee. And ankle is typical, but it is hindered a little bit by this armor down at the bottom of the calf. So you can get a little bit of tilt, but not a whole lot. All right. So pretty standard for what I have seen with Action Force. No reason to be, surprised by any of that. Now, one thing I did want to point out is that it looks like Vala has opted to not go with the separate neck. On all the other figures I have so far, it's just a, one-piece torso, and then the head is on the ball joint and the hinge. So, all right, let's look at accessories. Okay, so accessory-wise, Valaverse Swarm Trooper comes with the very nice and very sturdy action figure stand with all the multiple peg options. I think this is called a Chris Vector, maybe, rifle, which is a real gun, but looks a slightly, futuristic, goes great with this particular character. Then there's this gun. This one, I forget what the name of it is. I heard somebody say it, and I meant to write it down, and I forgot. But also very near future looking. You get a small combat knife. Very nicely detailed. And this is, I think, Bobby Vala's claim to fame and or greatest thing that he has done so far as his action figure line. He does not skimp when it comes to extra hands. So you get 2 like weapon supporting hands. You get 2 knife holding type hands, or wielding something like that. And then you get 2 trigger hands with the correct hinge. If I can get it to focus. Yeah, with the correct hinge. So that is, and look, y'all know me. I will tell anybody that will listen how great Classified is. But that is a weakness of theirs. It's that they don't include enough hands. They don't include, if you just gave us, 1 cup, 1 weapon holding hand and 2 trigger hands with the correct hinges on them and some fists, you'd probably be okay. But a lot of times they only give you the trigger hands, and then oftentimes the hinge is either only on the left side or you don't have one, a vertical one at all. So, hey, it is what it is. That's one thing for sure that Vala is doing better than Classified. All right, so while we are on accessories, we're going to go ahead and look at the accessories that came with the Swarm Trooper Pack, or Swarm Gear Set, that's what it's called. So you get a grenade launcher with barrel spins, maybe not. You get this kind of submachine gun with a silencer on the end. You get the Swarm Trooper shield, which is very nice. Nice handle here. And then you also get an extra action figure stand in case you want the translucent one, which is a nice touch. They didn't have to do that since you already got one, but that's nice. All right, Let's look at some comparisons. Oh, shoot, I'm forgetting the main thing. My bad. There's also this. the best thing on the Swarm Trooper. This spectacular winged jetpack. And these wings are articulated. They can move. You can have them in different configurations. Jeez, sure, I almost forgot that. And it pegs into the back just like a backpack. And it's pretty light, so it's not going to make him too back heavy. All right, let me get him geared up and then we'll do some comparisons. Okay, so here we have the Swarm Trooper all armed up. He's got a couple of his weapons, got the backpack and the knives in the sheath, even though you can't see it. He does have quite a few extra things that he could be carrying, but he can't carry everything at once. Next to the Valaverse Sergeant Slaughter and the Valaverse Karak. So full disclosure, just because this has been, a lot has been made of the stiff joints with the Action Force figures. The backpack, the wings weren't moving right away, and I didn't want to force them, so I did heat that up before I started moving the wings and articulating the wings. To remove the hands and switch out the hands, I also used some heat for that. However, the rest of his joints were able to just move without me having to heat them up. So, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Now, I have had him for a couple of days now, so he's been in the house. I didn't just take him directly from the mail and start trying to articulate him. It's been like 20 degrees where I live, so that would have been a bad idea. Okay, then we have him with one of the Valaverse Action Force Army builders. I think he's called the Urban Trooper, maybe? I can't remember. And he has a little bit of the gear from Valaverse on. The helmet, the gun, the holster. That vest is classified gung-ho vest. I was messing around with some stuff. And then you got Flint here. Then we have him here with some of the bigger characters from Classified. We have Gung Ho. And then this is my custom Crocmaster, but this is on a Marvel Legends Crossbones body, so you can get a kind of an idea of how it scales with the bigger Marvel Legends figures. Okay, and then to top this off, we have the Swarm Trooper with the other army builders for Classified that I have so far, because I do not have an Alley Viper. So one thing about this, and this is a feather in the cap for Classified and for Valaverse, because here you have, these dudes are supposed to be generic trooper types that you can just get a bunch of and put them in a faceless army. They're not supposed to, you wouldn't think that they would be this detailed, this spectacular, this well thought out, this, unique as far as sculpt and accessories and things like that. Like you look at a Marvel Legend army builder, they're very plain, one or two colors. That's it. And not a whole lot of detail on the uniform. Usually it's just a naked body just painted a certain color. This is far and away more than that. Okay, so gonna wrap this up here with some final thoughts, but I did want to point out one more thing. I noticed when I was switching out hands that the gun supporting hand is already tilted. If you can notice that. See how the hinge is not centered? So I'm assuming, because this is the first I've noticed of this, I'm assuming the other ones like Slaughter and Karak had the same thing. This is probably because this is how the hand is supposed to be oriented when it's doing that, so that it actually is not awkward. So excellent attention to detail. All right, so final thoughts on this guy. It's a great release. It's spectacular. It's supposed to be a generic army builder, and this guy, if you didn't have a bunch of them, he could be a standalone character. It's a great amount of accessories, spectacular paint, spectacular sculpt, excellent creativity as far as the translucent pieces and the lenses on the helmet and such. What I will say though, and this is a weakness, is that if you are trying to army build this, chances are you're going to want every one of your swarm troopers to have the, backpack and the shield and such. Well, that's separate from the figure. You buy the figure, that's 30 something bucks. Okay, that's fine. But then you got to get the accessory pack. That's another 18 or 20 bucks. So you're looking at almost $50 per guy. That's kind of a lot for an army builder. So, you don't have to get all that stuff, but really, you're going to get him and not have the wings? That don't even make no sense. So, All right. Like, comment, subscribe. Later.